So here I am out at this little area that we've decided to trial growing oats this year on the farm. And we sowed these oats at the start of May. We also did a sowing of field peas at the same time as a nitrogen source for the oats. We would have preferred to have sown red clover so that we could get a harvest from the red clover, but we didn't quite have enough seed, so we went with the peas. This is a purple podding variety called Blauschocker, which we grew commercially for the veg box last year. So we're using that, and it's quite a vigorous pea, and as we kind of predicted, it's grown a bit too vigorously and used the oats as a support and has slightly pulled down the oats. But we've got enough oats growing quite well anyway. We are growing these oats for the medicinal value, especially to make a tincture and oat straw tea. So we've been waiting for this moment when the oat seed is at its milky stage, when it produces a latex. And it's that latex that harbours a lot of the very valuable medicinal properties of oats. The next step is to harvest these milky oats and tincture them. And we tincture them by putting them in a jar with some high strength alcohol. We've got grain alcohol. You can use vodka. Putting these in alcohol and leaving them for a couple of months so that the alcohol extracts the medicinal properties of the oats. I am not a trained herbalist whatsoever. I am just very interested in herbal medicine. Oats in particular is something that I use a lot, and so to be able to make our own is very important to us. Oats are fantastic at nourishing the nervous system. Unlike herbs like chamomile and skullcap and motherwort, which have quite an immediate effect on the nervous system of relaxing you, oats, similar to nettle, are more of a restorative, and so can help sort of nourish your frayed nerves, so that your body responds better to anxiety and to stress, and maybe reduces the need to have the kind of quick dose of chamomile or other relatively strong nervines. Very good for you, very nourishing to the body as a drink. I often make nourishing herbal infusions from the oats, which is steeping oat straw, 30 grams of oat straw in boiling water for up to 10 hours and drinking that throughout the next day. That's a great way of getting the restorative benefits of oats. It's very good for giving you vitality and dispelling depression. But yes, I always think of it as a nervous system restorative, and something that's going to nourish the body. So the oats, they've been really growing very well. I'm slightly concerned still that we have reached the right point for harvest. I've been testing a few of the oats by squeezing them between my fingers to see if we can get this milky latex to come out. I'm going to just try one random one here. Oh, did you see that pop? That's what we want. Don't know if I can get that to focus. There you go. So that's the latex. So that's great. Let's have a look at the colour. It's still got a lot of green to it, but also some yellowing in the husk. The oats have been growing really well. They've been getting a really sunny spot here in the garden. This is quite a modern variety of oats. I think this was Yukon. So they're quite short. I had actually hoped for a bit more of the stem and the grassy part, which we can make the oat straw tea from if we dry it. But we should be able to get a bit of both. The peas, here we go, here's the purple podding peas, in fact, so that's great. We can, these are an old Dutch variety of pea, Blauschocker. Very nice big peas. We grew them as a mange too commercially last year, but they aren't a very good eating mange too in my opinion. And I heard that they're best as a field pea, so actually for drying and adding the peas into soups and stews. But they're a good garden pea too, you can see there. So you can eat them, but as a pea. But really we were growing these as a kind of nurse crop for the oats, to give the oats the nitrogen requirements that it needs. Like I said, I would have preferred to have done red clover, because then we can harvest the red clover flowers as herbal medicine as well. But next year we'll do that. But yeah, it's a beautiful crop to be around. It's got a very nice energy about it. It's a very aesthetically pleasing crop. Relatively easy to grow. You can definitely grow a small patch of this in your back garden, and it would give you plenty to be able to make your own tinctures from. I'm looking forward to growing a larger crop next year, but this is a great test crop for us to see how easy it was to grow and how easy it will be to then harvest this and prepare it as a medicinal tincture. If you're wanting to harvest oats as a tea, then you're looking at the oat straw, the leafy part, the leaves and the stem. And some people actually recommend harvesting that before it's gone to preparing seed, because a lot of the energy that goes into the seed, so there's maybe not as much nutrition left in the straw. But anyway, if you're looking to make oat straw tea, you're looking at the stem and the leaves, and we dry that and just add boiling water when we want to make a tea. Whereas when we're making the tincture, we're always going to be looking for the seeds, the milky oats, so the immature oats. In the milky oats is really where more of a concentrated medicinal value lies. So we're not sure how easy it's going to be to harvest, but we're going to go along. Here's actually some very yellow ones here. These might be a bit... Oh no, they've got some good latex in them. But yeah, I think we're right at the right moment to start harvesting this. We're going to be harvesting them just by stripping them off between our fingers, and we'll harvest them into a bucket. We won't need much at all. We're only going to be making a small amount of tincture, say around 1 litre. So we just need to fill a small jar. Then the rest we're going to either harvest as oat straw, or we're going to experiment leaving some here as well to see if we can possibly take it on to the stage where we would harvest it as matured oats. So that could be interesting. Not sure how we're going to then thresh them and get the oats out. But yeah, really great. I wish I'd come out and given you a glimpse of this patch before it all started falling over here. But it's quite a beautifully chaotic scene with the clambering peas and these beautiful oats just growing very delicately. That's a nice bowl, actually two bowls around this size harvested, and we really have only harvested a fraction of what's here, so it's a very giving crop. So we're going to take this inside now and we're going to tincture this. Alright, so I've filled up these 2 mason jars about halfway with the oats. We're just going with these size of jars because this is really all we've got at the moment. This is 1.5 litres and a litre jar. We've got our grain alcohol, our high strength alcohol that we've mixed with water to make it 50% alcohol. And we're going to be just pouring this on right up to the top of the jar just to exclude as much oxygen as possible because we don't want the plant material to oxidize. We're going to be putting these jars in a dark place and storing them for about 6 to 8 weeks. That's dependent on your strength of alcohol. You can use vodka, high strength, as high proof vodka as you can find in the shop to do this. We just decided to go with grain alcohol. Like I said before, I'm not a trained herbalist, so do your own research into why you might want to experiment using oats medicinally. Personally, I take about 5 mils a day when I feel I need to for aspects of anxiety and to help with nerves. But yeah, you can see we had way more oats harvested in a very short time than we need to use, so you could definitely devote a small patch of your garden to growing oats for yourself. We buy a lot of oat tincture, and so it's important to us to be able to learn how to make it ourselves. Alright, that's it. Just gonna close these off. I'll get a seal around this one when I'm back in the kitchen. So they're really close. They might seep a little. They do have the tendency to seep sometimes, so you might want to store it on a dish or in a tray. But that's it, really simple. Collect your herb, fill your chosen vessel about halfway full, cover it up with a strong vodka, or if you can get your hands on some grain alcohol, leave it in a dark place for a few months, strain it out into bottles, dark bottles if possible, and then you've got your own herbal tincture.